Imagine standing in the sweltering town square of a New Mexico town, the sun already up at mid-morning, and standing there watching are the townspeople, some because they're morbidly curious, others because they're darkly expectant. They've come not to see the hanging of some other guilty felon, but to witness one of the most horrific hangings in American history. This is the life of Tom "Blackjack" Ketchum, a cowhand turned outlaw whose murder was so brutal that the state had to change its laws. Who was Blackjack Ketchum? Tom Ketchum wasn't born an outlaw, however. He was born in 1863 in Texas and had once been a cowboy, then just kind of drifted into being an outlaw. He and his brother Sam robbed trains and post offices all over the Southwest, occasionally using the services of the notorious Hole-in-the-Wall gang. You may know some of their gang members, such as Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Tom wasn't a very good outlaw, really. At the end of it all, he was desperate, alone, and irresponsible. He lost his mind when he attempted to hold up the same train that his gang had held up before him. Alone. The last train robbery. Blackjack tried to rob a train south of Folsom, New Mexico, on August 16, 1899. It was a risk, and a stupid one. The conductor apprehended him and shot him in the arm. Wounded, Ketchum escaped on horseback, but was running low on gas. A posse tracked him down in a hurry. And then there's the strange part. Train robbery itself was a capital offense in New Mexico at that time, a law yet to be challenged. So the entire territory executed a man for attempting to rob a train. Remember this: not for murder, not for assault, for attempting to steal from a train. The execution setup flash forward to April 26, 1901. The gallows had been erected outside the Clayton jail in New Mexico. There was a group, newspaper reporters, onlookers, and children were there too. Hanging was a public display at that time, and people traveled miles. There was a problem, however. Tom had gained weight while he was in prison. He wasn't the lean outlaw of his youth anymore. And the guys who were going to hang him, they'd never hanged anyone before. The rope was slightly too long. They had not calibrated for his weight. They wanted the fall to be impressive, so some reports were even slightly melodramatic, but they got the physics completely wrong. The botched hanging. When the trapdoor opened and Tom fell, the fall was so violent that his head was torn off his body. Gasp broke away from the crowd. People shouted. Blood splattered on the stage and spectators in the vicinity. Something that was meant to be foul but decent turned into a horror show of Middle Ages savagery. Others claim that his head was shot off a couple of feet from his neck. Others claim it was held on by a piece of skin. It was repulsive to behold, and the media played it for all it was worth. It was an embarrassment to the state of New Mexico. Aftermath and impact. The papers all over the country headlined, "Decapitated Outlaw." The violence became legendary, not for the offense, but for the ferocity of the penalty. There are still photographs of the site today, grisly reminders of what comes of rushing justice and inexperience triumphing. The territory speedily changed laws. Executions were no longer advertised, and train robbery no longer a death penalty. Blackjack Ketchum's demise was the first and only time in American history that a man was legally hanged for train robbery, and one of the most bungled hangings on record, too. Ketchum's story is a gruesome reminder of amateur justice and the whimsical nature of capital punishment. He was not an angel, but the manner of death dismayed even those who supported the gallows. Imagine arriving at justice served, only to be given something that sears into your soul forever. That is what happened on that April day in 1901, and the gallows that brought down Blackjack. Those remain today in Clayton, a wooden reminder of a justice system that many years ago made terrible, terrible mistakes.